Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Jorge Perez from wutanshaolinkungfu. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Master Jason Tsou. Master Jason Tsou is a disciple of Master Su Yu Chang, but he also trained and learned from Grandmaster Qiao. He is the founder of Wutanlosangeles. We're going to break down this interview in three different parts. So make sure you check all of them. If you want to know more about Master Jason Tsou, stay with me and let's get to it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Jorge Perez from Wutan Shaolin Kung Fu. Today I have a special guest. So Master Jason Tsou was born in Taiwan in 1949 and he started practicing Chinese martial arts when he was 11 years old. He learned from Master Su Yu Chang, Master Adam Hsu, Grandmaster Chan Dong Shen, and Grandmaster Liu Xiao. Hello, Master Tsou. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Thank you
Very
very
nice to
much.
talk to you on the phone.
Awesome. Thank you very much for accepting this interview. I want to
My
thank
pleasure.
also
My
to
pleasure.
my cousin Viet that he also talked to you about it, and also
Right.
Lance, right?
Right.
That was there. I want to thank them for this time, and also thank you for accepting, right? There's so much to talk about, and I'm very excited about this interview because you are a very interesting master that had the opportunity to learn from Grandmaster Liu Chao. And I think this is going to be great for not only my generation, right, but also the future generations that are coming as well. I wanted to start this channel to promote and preserve our Chinese martial arts. Like I was telling you before, I started practicing in 1990. I was just 5 years old, and I never stopped. And I love this martial art, and I became a disciple, and I now I have the commitment to continue with this journey and also to preserve this legacy. That I think it's
Right.
beautiful, and I just want to share with everybody, and that's why I started this channel. And so thank you very much for coming because I know this is gonna be great. So I want to start the interview um, asking you if you can tell us more about yourself, like right after you were 11 years old and you started practicing Chinese martial arts.
Yes, my name is Jason Tsou. Chinese name is Zhou Jiaxiang. Yes, I was born in Taipei, Taiwan, 1949. This year's my Chinese year is 75 years old. But the Social Security Office, they recognize me as a 74. I like that better.
Oh,
And when I look at you,
yeah,
you say you were start the martial art 1990, right?
yes,
Yeah, that you really remind me of the whole bunch of student, the kiddo student. Like at that time is what like 5 years or 6 years. At that time, I had a commercial kung fu studio, and I started 1990 to teach until 1998. So the all 8 years we have a studio, and your starting age 5 6. That's my children's class age. Okay,
yeah,
so when I look at you, I say, well, it sounds very familiar, except I don't expect all my children, student, if they come back as like your age, or fully grown, it will shock me because, and they look at me, they will shock them too. Hey, master, you're so old now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, little bit background. There was during my junior high school year, my family moved from the south side of the city to the north side of the city. Our house is very near to a northern kung fu school.
Okay.
And every day when I get off the bus from my high school, I always stop by and outside of the window and watch people doing all this martial arts. I was very fascinated by all this activity inside until their window learning lasts about like almost 3 months. Until one day, finally, my father get my father's permission to join them. I was
Awesome.
officially joined them, and the year was 1960, and I was 11 years old.
Wow.
I was 5 years older than when you're starting age.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's my little background to start the martial art.
Awesome. And it was when you started Master So, it was what style did you start?
I start the it's called the plum blossom, the meihua, long
Okay.
fist.
Okay.
Yeah. But that time, the old grandmaster, he was 88 years old. He's already have physically he has the lot of issues. He
Yeah.
he couldn't teach that much, so his four major disciple was teaching me. But one of
Oh.
the major disciple teaching me the lot of weapons and Meihua styles. Yeah, and
Oh.
Tai Chi Chuan. Yeah, yes, as well too.
And Tai Chi
Yeah.
Chuan as well. And you
Yeah,
were.
then was 15 years old. He was teaching Tai Chi. Because my father wanted to study. So
Oh. Okay.
a month later, my father said, "Hey, son, I cannot remember all this movement. Why don't you join me? We'll do it together."
Okay.
So you be my reminder. So it's okay.
Okay.
I hated that time, but because I always think that's slow. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But when I grown up, I start to see the value of Tai Chi.
Yeah.
I'm I'm sorry, not the Tai Chi only. Tai Chi Chuan.
Yeah.
That's most important is the Chuan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that you looked at Tai Chi Chuan back then the same way as I used to look at it years later as a kid, right? When you're a kid, you want more kind of action, right? And Tai Chi is more, you see it more slow, and you kind of, the first impression when you're a kid, when you're a young guy, is, "Ah, I don't like it too much, or I don't like it at all because it's too slow." And it's interesting that it was the same way when you started in the 60s, right?
Yeah. It's a one analogy I always tell the student. You're hungry, the fast food is everywhere. The restaurant, fast food restaurant.
Yeah,
They can make you full quickly. You can get it
yeah,
and get the food. You feel satisfied. But Tai Chi Chuan, it's like you're going to the upscale restaurant. You
hmm,
got to spend the time.
yeah,
You got to really enjoy your dinner.
yeah,
Otherwise, and your manner is just like eating the hamburger.
yeah,
You waste your money, waste your the whole setup. So that's the kind of like that, but hard for people to understand because a person like me, I fight all the time. Okay,
yeah,
but why promote the Tai Chi to a certain degree is because of that. Bagua is the same thing. Okay, a lot of time people don't understand the slowness.
yeah,
Actually, simplicity is simply to simplify.
yeah,
Okay, then slow, so-called slowness, is slowly to enjoy that slowness. Okay,
yeah.
so you have to do that. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, 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 that's fine. Um, so you started there. How long were you there until you started practicing with Master Su?
You're talking about over there in the when I was younger, or
Yeah, when you were
well,
younger, that you started. How many years did
I
you?
start. I basically I had a 3 years training there until that was a junior high school year.
Okay,
In Taiwan, the junior high school year is 3 years.
okay,
Then when I start my high school, and it gets so busy, I don't. go there regularly, but
Oh,
I'm still because close by, right? We live close by, so once in a while, so like at least once or twice a week, I still stop by, to practice and stuff,
okay.
but not like almost every day it used to be.
Got it.
And besides in high school, that was we have the Saijiao Chinese Wrestling Club, and I spent a lot of the training with the Master Chang, so that's why energy wise, I can only handle as much.
Yeah.
But I always appreciate very much my younger age training, just like yourself.
Yeah. And then when you were training with Master Chandon Chen in the high school, right? For
Right.
for a couple years with him.
That's high school years again, 3 years.
Okay.
Okay, and we train every other day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, after the class, so after school, we're
Got
training
it.
about 2 hours, and once twice a month we have to go to a police academy. Chan also as a teacher, teaching the policemen in
Okay.
Taiwan, police academies, and also the some of the short term refreshing courses for all these police when they come back for take like a 1 or 2 months special training.
Okay.
And we were at high school. Uh, Chang Dongsen took us to to fight there too,
Okay.
to give us the opportunity to gain experiences with
Yeah.
the adults. That
Yeah.
time we
With
are
adults.
underage. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
with the adults and with the policemen.
Yeah.
And man, when we training with the policemen, they treat us like a criminal.
Okay. So it was a good training,
From their
Master So.
mind, we are criminals.
Yeah.
So it was a tough.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah, and that sometimes pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So that I can tell you.
I bet. I bet it was. And when did you meet Master Su Yu Chang and Master Chao? How old were you?
I was a 20. Okay, then I was the last year in my uh, actually it's 21, but 20 to 21, almost 21, and that was the last year when I was in college.
Okay.
And that time we changed the teacher, the instructor. I belong to my old school, the college. They have the kung fu club. I was the president of the kung fu club that time.
In college.
So and yeah, for the reason that the teacher they is hard for him to come out, so we need to switch another teacher. That time you have the Wutan magazine, as you know. There's a Wutan used to have a starting as a magazine, it's martial art magazine.
Yes. Uh,
Then they train some student in the Grandmaster Liu Chao's backyard, and we call it Wutan Training Martial Art Training Center. Okay,
Okay.
and that's a starting point. And I didn't know too much about it, but we read the Wutan magazine and say, hey, that Grandmaster Liu Chao seems like it's a really can be a good teacher, to invite. So we invite him, but he say, hey, too far for me because we're in Taichung, which is about like 4 hours in train.
Oh,
When you
okay.
take the train that time, he said I wouldn't like it to go that far.
Yeah.
But I have one of my students, he might interest to go. His name is Su Yu Chang.
Oh, okay.
That's how Su Yu Chang come to our school.
Okay.
I was very amazed because when we saw his prayingmantis,
Yeah.
it was it's a very fast and very quick movement
Yeah.
and very fascinating. And also he demonstrated how to apply. And if you choose one of the big guy, it's about like almost 6 foot
Yeah.
that tall, and he quickly hit him and take him down on the ground. So that guy
Wow.
is not a beginner. He's also it's a couple of years training
Yeah.
in the club. So he has some foundation already, and he has some fighting background, so
Okay.
he can take him. So that really convinced everybody. That was about like 1971 around that time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Then 71, 72, and during those years I was in the military. Then I always come back to a school to train with him
Okay.
until 73. I finally met Grandmaster Liu Chang. Well, actually, I took it back. We met him before that.
Okay.
Finally, I went to I was in Taiwan in Taipei, which is Grandmaster Liu Chao uh, living there.
Yeah.
Studied directly from him and until I come here. So about 2 years, I was frequent to go to Wutan.
Okay.
And then the later time, like I say, there's about close to 10 years time. I was because I visit my mom, and also I always spend some time to visit Grandmaster Liu to try to take some private lessons.
Oh, I see.
So
At
that
the
was
Wutan Center, right? In Taipei.
now as his house across the
Oh,
street.
okay.
He living in at that time he lived in an apartment building.
Okay.
Down below there's a park.
Okay.
That's where we met. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Interesting. Master, so I would like to know what do you study and what is your profession? I don't know if you can talk to us a little bit about that, please.
Okay. I am the registered mechanical engineer in California. So engineering is my actually is my first degree
Okay.
in the academically. Okay. So a little bit background myself. I always live in Taipei until I went to college to study engineering in Taichung. That is a city in the middle region of Taiwan.
Okay.
After the college graduation, I applied to several grad schools in the United States and to, for pursuing a higher education, right?
Yep.
However, when my mom had the motorcycle accident and he broke his hip, and I changed my mind. I said, well, I better stay in Taiwan. So I went back to my old school. I graduated, get my BS degree first in engineering. Then I went back to my old school to pursuing the master degree. So I graduated in 2 years and get my engineering master degree. And that time, uh, I have the another, the U.S. Senate I-20, right?
Yep.
To and also associated with the scholarship.
Okay.
So I was debating, and that time my mom was getting better, right? After 2 years, basically she's fully recovered.
Okay.
And both my parents say, well, encourage me to come to this country, to study abroad. That was my first, goal. But then because of the interruptions, but then they said, go for it. So accepted the admission, and I went to the school called the Southeastern Massachusetts University. Now it's the UMass Dartmouth. Yeah, and that was when I first come to United States in back in the 1974.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I came to in August 1974. Come to this country. Yeah,
Okay. And you did your
yeah.
master's degree there in the now UMass University.
Yeah,
University.
UMass. It's I get my actually it's not engineering. It's chemistry. It's
Oh.
applied chemistry. Yes,
Okay.
and at that time, in Taiwan, that was is booming in those synthetic, fiber rubbers and everything. So I'm
Okay.
getting interested into those kind of fields. So I graduate get my degree is applied chemistry, is specialized in textiles, so
Okay.
dyeing, finishing, all this. And I after I graduate, I work in the Boston. Are you in the Boston area?
I'm close to Boston. I'm like 35 minutes from Boston. I'm next to Lowell, actually. There's a
Oh,
University of
okay.
Massachusetts close
Well,
to my house.
yes, also have the that program as well
Yep.
in a low technology institute or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I was working south side of the Boston. They call Sharon, Massachusetts,
Okay.
Boston there, and a few months. Then I got another job offer in Southern California, so I
Oh, okay.
relocated. I came here, uh, 1977 in the summertime.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Southern
79,
California.
yeah, California in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Then 2 years later, that time, there was the oil embargoes and all this
Yeah.
mess. So the chemical industry is really going down. So I switched back to my engineering.
Okay.
So
Mechanical
back to the
again.
engineering ever since. Yeah. So I use not my second master degree. I used the first master degree. So until
Okay.
today.
Awesome. And that.
I'm still actively involved with a different project as engineering consultant.
Oh,
Even though
okay.
I retired, about 15 years ago.
Okay.
But from time to time, people always ask me to involve some kind of project.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
you
just
work as a
finished my last
consultant, basically, right?
as consultant. Yeah, I
Okay.
have my free time. I don't have to do. I used to have my own company. I had the highest number of people, so 15 people working under me,
Okay.
and that was that was a disaster. I tell you, when you have your own company, you never have your own time. Okay,
Yeah.
and you never have a completed daily rest or sleep.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad. Finally, I retired.
Now you
So
retired. And how did you end up in LA again?
because there's a job offer. As
Mm.
one of my colleague from Boston, he got a job offer in California first.
Okay.
Then he asked me. He say, "My family is in Rhode Island. Jason, you're single. Why don't you come here?
Yeah.
Take my job, and so I can get together with my family. I hate to be too separated,
Yeah.
East Coast and West Coast. So that's how I came here. That was yeah, that's the
Okay.
reason I came here.
Awesome. Master So, can you please talk about how many disciples do you have and how many ceremonies, Paisu ceremonies have you done over the past years?
Um, I had one disciple ceremony. We call 拜师, right?
Yep.
So the 拜师 ceremony in Massachusetts, we had one. That was 76
Okay.
around that time. Yeah, and I had altogether 8 disciples.
So you became a disciple in the 73,
No, 74. I was a
74,
disciple.
and you
Yeah,
made your
and I
first.
get the yeah my I becomes a Shifu to accepting the disciple, which get the permission from Grandmaster Liu Chao.
Okay.
Of course, Liu Chao understand that I have the a history in Chinese martial art. I always start with the Chinese martial art,
Yeah.
and then he recognized that, and he gave me the authorization. He said, "You're in the United States. You don't have to wait longer time, just like in our country. You there, you can start your own.
Oh,
Earlier the better." That's what he told me.
oh, okay.
So 76, we start to have a first disciple ceremony, and I had the 8 disciples.
And that was in 77?
1976,
Okay. In Massachusetts, you
long
said.
time. Yeah, Massachusetts. I come to Southern California all these years. I don't have any disciple year. I mean, disciple 拜师 ceremony, nothing. I didn't accept anybody until that was 2008, I believe. That was the second time I ever in my life to have the ceremony.
Okay.
So in between, that's 30 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and after that, I have two more. So altogether, three disciple ceremony.
Okay. And how
And
many
the total,
disciples total?
I think the total right now is 25.
25. And out of just curiosity, right? Out of those 25, how many kept studying and training and learning kung fu?
That's a good question. Um,
Roughly.
when we doing the Baisi, as you know, when you become a disciple, we always have to read. We have to know what's our mission statement.
Yeah.
And I kept my disciple 拜师帖, the document.
Yep.
Even until now, I still have it. That was 74 until now. And I sometimes I read it. I say, I think I followed exactly what the lineage asks us to,
Yeah.
you know, to do. I basically I think I'm okay to face to the ancestor and say, hey, I'm doing whatever you guys expect us to do.
Yeah. What I
Okay,
promised
but
back then.
there's many so-called disciples. Unfortunately, they have that enthusiasm. They have that, or even they call the fever. Maybe at the very few
Yeah.
years, and then later, there's things changed. The mind changed. The heart changed, and so that's not never becomes a like. Say for example yourself. You're 6 years old until now. You're still doing it.
Yeah.
That becomes your second life,
Yeah.
right? And it's your second nature too.
Yeah.
So I always tell students, if you don't do martial art today, if you feel, just like you didn't brush your teeth and going to work or going to school, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
If 2 days you don't do martial art, let me ask you, you don't brush your teeth for 2 days?
I brush
If
my
you feel
teeth.
that's nasty, yeah,
Yeah.
you feel that's nasty, that's yucky, and you better do it every day.
Yeah.
Martial arts is the same thing. Okay, so to answer the questions, we do have the many disciples, but how many still doing the martial art, uh, treat it as that's part of your life? Not that many.
Not that many.
Yeah, I would say normally if it's people already get into the discipleship, it's probably 1/5. I say 20%.
Wow. Okay.
That
Yeah.
many,
That sounds
yeah,
that sounds about right. I mean, also
well,
for my group of disciples, yeah, less than 30%. Just a quick,
yeah, yeah.
that's y-
Uh, of course, everybody, the life changes.
yeah.
If you're a student, a much simpler lifestyle than when you start, step into the society. You have to fighting your daily life. A lot of time this set put aside becomes secondary.
Yeah,
If
but
a secondary becomes a third or
yeah.
fourth,
Yeah.
then that is gonna be far away from you, and finally they say goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay, that's unfortunately it's like that. But that's depends on how strong your will is, and how much your passion.
Yeah.
If the martial arts your passion, you treat differently.
Yeah.
Like a marriage, if you married to this woman, you say I want to commit the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You
Same
commit the martial
same
art the rest
thing.
of your life. Same thing. Yep.
And then you should not become a disciple if you don't love this as much as
At
you
that
think.
time, many disciples when they're excited, say, "Hey, finally I become a disciple.
They had the fever, right?
I'm gonna be the names in under this lineage."
Yeah.
They can feel honored. They feel uh, wonderful.
Yeah.
But the next thing is still reality.
Yeah.
That's you'll get recognized,
Yeah.
but that's just the beginning.
I I've said this before. That's exactly like that. Like that's when you really start. After that, that's a feeling, right? And there's a commitment to, you know, do it the rest of your life and die with it. I don't feel like there's any excuse um for not keep going, because I mean,
Right.
talking about you, Master So, you have an engineering degree, you have two master's degree, you kept your professional career, you became a disciple, you kept teaching, training until now. I have an electrical engineering degree, I have two master's degree, I have three kids, I'm married, and I'm still doing it. I don't, I mean, I have two back surgeries and it didn't stop me.
No.
So you, like you said, you gotta love this.
Yeah.
It's something that that was a perfect example. You don't stop brushing your teeth for 2 days, right?
Yeah.
It should be the same
That's
feeling with this.
that's why we're back to the definition of kung fu. Kung fu means a time, effort,
Yeah,
and discipline.
yeah,
So you need all these three,
yeah,
and then you can call yourself as a kung fu person.
yeah,
Okay, not necessarily martial art, can be anything, any skill.
yeah.
But martial art, people in this country will always say, "Oh, kung fu is Chinese martial art."
Hmm.
Okay, kung fu is Chinese martial arts. Do you know what kung fu means? Yeah, that's three things. The
Yeah,
last one, discipline, is continuously.
yeah,
Discipline yourself every day. I always say this world is keep on changing. Tai Chi is called the changing world. Tai Chi world, which is this world.
hmm,
It's yin and yang, but always a changing or in between.
yeah,
Okay, switch from one to the other.
yeah,
Change is inevitable. The only thing you can face through the changes is you have a constant heart. If your heart is constant, there's no any change will defeat you or too up, overwhelming you.
yeah,
You can keep it calm and constant, and that changes. You know, is inevitable.
yeah,
You know how to handle it
yeah,
because the change itself is constant. So
yeah,
you got to have a constant heart to face through the changes. So kung fu training, daily kung fu training, is build up your constant heart. So they called, hey, a warrior, weekend warrior. We always are joke about it. People only practice weekend and sports and everything, right?
yeah,
Or weekend going to the park to practice kung fu.
yeah,
All right, that's weekend warrior. Do you know we are daily warrior because we have faced our life every day.
yeah,
So if you do kung fu every day, your mentality is ready to any challenge because you deployed all these things around you to
yeah,
make yourself a warrior. So you do daily training, you become daily warrior. So any obstacles coming to your life, you have the will to handle.
yeah, and
There's a lot of time people think, the kung fu's value of kung fu. So, well, nowadays have a gun,
yeah,
they just push button. You don't even see your enemy. They already destroy you. So
yeah,
why you want to do kung fu? Hey, that doesn't happen. If it happens, sorry, that happened. But if it don't happen, we still have to face into the war, to the battle every day.
yeah.
That's our lifetime story, right?
I love that, especially because I feel like I've been ex- extrapolating all the different things that I learned through kung fu and Chinese martial arts to my personal life. So I mean, it's a win-win. Um, however you want to look at it, it's it's awesome. I love kung
Yeah,
fu. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
And that concludes the end of part 1 of the interview with Master Jason Tsou. Make sure you check part 2 and part 3 as well. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.